Heyo, what is up guys? Happy Valentine's Day to all of you lovebirds out there, and to the rest of us, happy Friday with no greater significance. And why is there so much pink? Okay, but for real, today is kind of a double-edged sword, as it highlights love, which is great, but also inherently kind of casts a shadow on those people who don't have someone to celebrate with. And it's easy to get wrapped up in all of that and have that void kind of perpetuate itself into a bitter outlook on love or relationships, and that's really sad. You know, obviously Valentine's Day is not the only thing that does this. You know, failed relationships or lack of relationships can definitely contribute to this. I may be labeled as overly optimistic or whatever you want, but I do genuinely believe that if there's one thing in life that's worth holding out hope on till the very end, it has to be love. I was fortunate enough to experience a genuine and mutual love with someone, but just because that fell apart didn't mean that I could tarnish my view on love or on my future. And in fact, it had almost the opposite effect. When you've experienced that inexplicable rush when you are madly in love, your body doesn't forget that. And it almost kind of resets your highest high to another level. And when that's gone, you almost want to feel that again more so than before, because you know what it's like to have that amazing feeling. And it's really sad. You hear people with, you know, one bad dating experience say, you know, all guys are idiots or all girls are this or whatever, and project that onto the entire population. And not only is generalizing that, the characteristic of one person onto an entire population, unrealistic, but it also truly is only self-limiting to you. Breakups are a combination of so many independent factors that if you actively tried to recreate the situation with another person, it wouldn't work, because you would be dealing with a whole different set of parts. And that's why generalizing after breakup it just makes no sense. However, if you do notice a pattern, you know, for instance, you always fall for the cheaters, or you look around and you don't like the options that you've surrounded yourself with, it's up to you to break out of that mold. There are so many people that are afraid of change and comfortably sit in their preformed habits, even though those habits manifest themselves in such a way that they are incredibly unhappy with their lives. And to that I say, take 6 months and just work on you. Don't worry about the cute boy in your math class or the cute girl down the block. You need to work on getting you to the right place. I can tell you from firsthand experience that you need to love 100% of yourself before you can give 100% of yourself to someone else. embrace your flaws. Learn to love them, because someday you'll find someone who loves those parts of you as well, simply because they're part of what makes you you. And once you're on that path of self-growth and moving towards self-fulfillment, and you're free of the burdens of self-doubt and even self-hatred, those people who don't deserve your love will instinctively fall away. And as you progress, you keep growing, you keep building, you'll notice that the people that are drawn to you are the people that you've always wanted to surround yourself with. And that is when you'll find love. It'll seem out of the blue, and inevitably in an attempt to explain your feelings to someone else, you'll use the time-old saying, love finds you when you least expect it. But the reason you didn't expect it is because it was so organic. Because you finally let your true self have the pedestal it needed to shine, and that drew the correct person to you. It'll seem effortless with them. And the reason that it's effortless is because you no longer have to expend any energy in trying to be someone you're not, or trying to cover up things that you think they won't like about you. And in that moment, you'll be standing in front of each other, defenseless, with your deepest truths in an outstretched hand towards each other, and your sole focus will be on taking in their truths, not hesitating once out of fear from your own exposure. And that is love. And that is what I refuse to give up on. Alright, I'm going to leave you guys with two of my stream of consciousness writings, I guess. Sometimes I get in these moods and just sit down and type and just kind of pull some prophetic stuff out of my subconscious. And these two have to do with today's topic, so I hope you like them. The first one is The Leap. The human population is an incredibly diverse and intricate mosaic of 7 billion individuals fragmented into continents, religions, cultures, countries, families, etc. However, even with the most ardent compartmentalization of the population, an intrinsic disparity will remain. Each individual is precisely that, individual. Even when surrounded with those that society has dictated similar, it is often easy to feel a sense of solitude. However, those elements that are fundamentally human bond us. Fear, pain, happiness, and sadness exist in every shard of the mosaic. Above all of these, though, is love. Love is not only universal, but it has cultivated traditions that have been extensively adopted and sustained for as long as man has walked the earth. It's so powerful that no elixir can elicit the same physiological response when love is felt or love is lost. The highest of highs, lowest of lows. Over time, as we often do, some have developed mechanisms with which to ward off the lows. They simply stand at the edge, watching potential euphoria soar by, just out of reach, because the fear of pain, rejection, and misconnection cripples them. They stand, they watch. They thrive on the successes of others' attempts, but they never ultimately feel. They never ultimately live. Then there are those that calculate and logically assess their leap. Many of them do plummet to the unknown in search of love, and of them, many find it. However, there are those whose deliverance has failed them, and they too never leave the edge. Lastly, there are those individuals who chase the highs. To them, the potential pain could never stand next to the ultimate bliss at stake. They jump, time and time again, hoping to grab onto the piece of ecstasy. Many do fall and must work their way back to the ledge to jump again, but they do it willingly and with such fervor. Climactically, those who took the leap of faith and landed on destiny are rewarded with the most precious bounty, a partner, an individual whose presence in your life seemingly banishes solitude. Your existence as a single component to the mosaic is no longer relevant. In fact, the mosaic itself loses its allure. You are not a piece of the fragmented chaos. You're one half of perfection, of fulfillment, of existence. Knowing this, I will jump. I will not fear the pain. I will not hesitate. If my heart, my soul, my being intangibly pulls me off the edge, I will not resist. For the man that follows his heart has no use for logic. It is simply a tie to the mosaic, to the chaos. Okay, and the last one is, can't start a fire without a spark. A simple flame, though infinitely more powerful, would cease to exist without a spark. A spark is, at its core, the materialization of excited energy manifested at the moment that two souls collide. And although saturated in momentary beauty, the spark lacks sustainability. The energy must enter new mediums to persist, and with adequate conditions, burst a flame. Even at its weakest, the flame has both immense potential and palpable perishability. It is at this point that those two souls have a united substance. Some partnerships dissolve in faded individualism, and the flame is lost. For even fewer, the flame is nurtured and maintained, and may even set volatile moments ablaze with passion and love. However, those souls whom have traveled eternity in search of one another sit on a ledge, overlooking an infinite forest, because for them, there is no limiting or domesticating their flame. All that lies ahead is the potential for that tiny moment of excited energy, that one risk, to ignite an inferno for all to see and no one to dull.